Yo, Tom here from tkpt.co.uk. I'm going to make this video for you really quickly today because I want to talk to you about something that gets said to me quite a lot actually, and probably something that bugs quite a lot of fitness professionals as well. I mean, that's not the reason I'm making the video, but it is something that's heard a lot, and I know that it's one of those niggling things for PTs or fitness professionals that they hear a lot and they sort of wish they didn't almost. And that's when people say that I don't want to lose weight, I just want to tone up, and sort of it leads to a degree of confusion between what the client is trying to tell you and between what they actually want. Okay, so what I want to first of all talk about is that when people say they don't want to lose weight, they just want to tone up, generally what they really mean, what I'll say is, well, what do you mean by that? So, and generally what I say is, I want to see more definition, okay? Which isn't actually what muscle tone means. Muscle tone, in its defined form, is actually your state of muscle, the contracted state of muscle at rest. So it's basically how much tension is in your muscle in the relaxed state. And generally that's not what people mean when they say they want to tone up. Usually what people mean when they say they want to tone up is they want to see more definition around their muscles, which essentially is fat loss. So when people say, I don't want to lose weight, I just want to tone up, what they generally mean is I want to burn the stubborn fat areas around my muscles so I can see more definition. And you hear it a hell of a lot of time. People say it all the time, I don't want to lose weight, I just want to tone up. One thing to get clear really is that I'm not in the game of weight loss. It's not what I do. I never encourage people to think of losing weight as the main objective. That's not what we set out to achieve. It is fat loss. So toning, or muscle tone, as people would call it, and fat loss go hand in hand. Weight loss is a completely different ballgame, and it's not something that I advocate or practice. Weight loss could be loss of muscle, it could be loss of water, it could be loss of fat as well, but there's a lot of factors that can contribute to weight loss, whereas fat loss is solely fat loss, okay? The idea is to lose fat while maintaining muscle mass, because muscle mass is really important, and that in itself is what people will perceive as toning. So, I want to just run through, if you were to lose weight, if you said to me I want to lose as much weight as quickly as possible, I would say eat as little as you possibly can and do endless amounts of cardiovascular exercise, but you're not going to look good for it. You're going to lose a whole lot of muscle, so you're going to have that sort of skinny, flabby look that people develop, particularly see it in marathon runners, and people that do long bouts of steady state cardiovascular exercise, because it's really catabolic, breaks down a lot of muscle, which isn't good. If you're training for the way you look, weight loss isn't the way to go, okay? So you don't want to be doing endless amounts of cardiovascular exercise if you're looking to burn fat. If you're looking to lose weight, eat as little as possible and just do endless amounts of cardiovascular exercise. But I would recommend it. It didn't come from me, okay? I would not recommend that way of training, because what you'll find is if you lose weight and you burn a lot of muscle mass, number one, your metabolism is going to slow down, so it means you're going to put on fat more easily, which is obviously quite undesirable. Your immunity will decrease a lot, so you're going to get ill a lot more easily, plus you'll look a lot more ill, you'll look a lot more gaunt, pale, and just generally unhealthy. Your joints will be less stable, so you're much more likely to pick up an injury, okay? And it just generally leads to a state of ill health. So for people to say I want to lose weight, for me, is not really the way to go, okay? I'm not in the business of saying that you're right or wrong. I don't want to say that you're incorrect by saying that, but if you wanted to lose as much weight as possible, just take action on the points I've just spoken about, okay? But it really is not the way to go. So, what I'm basically getting at is, when people say they want to tone up, they're saying the same thing as they want to lose fat, okay? Losing fat and muscle tone, toning up, are the same thing. It's all wrapped up into one neat little package. Okay, so yeah, basically ditch the whole weight loss side of things. Forget about the scales. Don't worry what the numbers say. I've just told you the best way to lose weight, but that's not the best way to look your best, to get in shape, and to be healthy on a consistent basis for a sustainable amount of time. Okay? There's pretty much yo-yo diet in a nutshell. If you dramatically cut your calories, you're never going to be able to stick to it for a extended period of time because it's just unbearable, and you're going to get to the point where you go back to normal, but because you've lost all this muscle mass, etc., yeah, the scales will be lower, but you're going to look worse, and when you go back to your normal way of eating, you're going to find that you put on fat much more easily, which is obviously an unfavourable situation. So the way to go is fat loss and muscle tone. It's the same thing, okay? Take pictures of the way you look. I say this to my clients all the time. If you're training for the way you look, pay attention to the way you look. That makes sense, right? It's just logical thinking. So take pictures every month. Pictures every month, okay? And if you're doing the right sort of training and you're eating the right sorts of foods, you should see a change on a monthly basis. You can get an app on your phone called Body Shot, S-H-O-T, which is really quite handy because what you can do is you can basically keep a photo journal. So you can have like January and then compare it to May, compare it to March, and you can have the months side by side. So that's really useful. If you're training for the way you look, number one, photos, okay? Pay attention to photos. Take them every month. Number two, take measurements. So just get yourself like a fabric tape measure, okay? Take measurements around arm, chest, waist, hips, bum, and thigh, and do this on a weekly basis to hold yourself really accountable. So photos on a monthly basis, measurements on a weekly basis, and again, if you're doing this and you're doing everything right with your nutrition and your exercise, you should be seeing a decrease near on every week. I mean, don't worry if 1 week doesn't change, but at least fortnightly in your measurements you should see a drop. And when you're looking at the bigger picture, when you're looking at the photos over, say for example, a 3-month period and the measurements, you should be seeing big progress, okay? So, takeaway points in this video really, I just wanted to get it out there that when people say, I don't want to lose weight, I just want to tone up, what they really mean, or what you really mean is, I don't want to lose weight, okay, I don't want to lose mass, but I want to burn fat and increase definition. And again, I'm not in the game of losing weight. That's not what I go for, okay? Obviously, if people are quite big to start off with, if you are quite overweight, you will lose weight, inevitably. But people that are a little leaner, for example, you might find, if you're doing the right sort of training, that your weight could even increase, but you're going to look a lot better for it, okay? So, you obviously everyone has heard the thing of muscle weighs more than fat. It's not true. A pound of muscle is a pound, and a pound of fat is a pound. But what is true is that muscle is a lot denser, so it takes up a lot smaller space. So say, for example, if you dropped a pound of fat, but you increased a pound of muscle, you would be smaller because of it, because the muscle takes up less space, it's a much denser tissue. So essentially what you could do is replace, you can't turn muscle into fat or fat into muscle, that's just not even, that's a myth. And it's not something that's worth even thinking. But you could essentially burn a pound of fat and increase a pound of muscle and look a lot better for it and weigh exactly the same, if you see what I mean there. If you increase 2 pounds of muscle and you burn a pound of fat, you're going to be heavier, but you will look better for it because that pound of muscle over your whole body, again, if you're doing the right sort of training, is going to be unnoticeable, okay? And one thing to bear in mind with muscle gain, again over the whole body, it's not going to be noticeable. You're not going to wake up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, don't worry about that. But if you increase a pound of muscle, your body is going to burn up to an extra 50 calories a day doing nothing, at rest. So while you sleep, essentially, okay? Your heart has then got to work harder, beat harder to supply said muscle with blood. So your heart's literally got to beat harder, it's going to burn more calories on a daily basis, okay? So again, making sustainable fat loss a lot easier. I'm going on a bit here now. Right, I'm going to tie this up. So, point one is when you say you don't want to lose weight, you just want to tone up, it really does mean I want to lose fat and I want to increase definition, okay? Number two is to forget about the scales. Don't worry about a number on a scale, okay? I always say this to people, if you look the way you want to look, are you really going to care about the number on the scale? Would you rather weigh what you want to weigh, but not look the way you want to look, or look the way you want to look and not weigh what you want to weigh? Weigh that up, literally. It's all about photos and measurements for the most part. And if you get to a point where you're sort of really lean and your measurements then aren't telling you much, then you want to focus on taking the body fat percentage on a regular basis, okay? But for the most part, for most people, photos monthly, measurements weekly will be more than enough to tell you that you're making good, positive progress on a consistent basis. Forget about scales, please. If there's one thing in the new year, if there's one resolution in the new year, forget about scales. Honestly, it's a damaging form of people trying to track progress. It disheartens people, it gives them the wrong idea on what's actually going on, and it's just not the way to go at all, okay? So forget about scales, take pictures monthly, take measurements on a weekly basis, okay? Yeah, if you pay attention to, like, if you get emails from me, or if you read things that I put out, or watch videos and stuff like that, you may notice that I say, do you want to lose weight? I know I say it at the time, and you might think, Tom, you're contradicting yourself here. But the thing is, I would be an idiot not to mark it with those sort of lines. And that's all it is if I say, looking to lose weight, looking to tone up, okay, like I said, you might have read it in emails, and you might think, what are you talking about, Tom? I've heard you say that loads of times. But in order for me to appeal to the sort of people that I'm looking to appeal to, I have to use that terminology in the hope that once they arrive and they sort of interact with me and they start training with me and paying a bit more attention and sort of digging a little deeper into what it is that I do, that we can then educate them on the correct way to sort of track progress and to make sure that they get results, okay? So don't think, Tom, you tell me all the time that I should lose weight, this, that and the other, okay? I am merely saying that for marketing purposes, you may hear me say, are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to tone up? Etc, etc. That is merely to appeal to the sort of people that I want to bring in to fitness camp and to train on a one-on-one basis, to then further educate them that that isn't the way to go. But if I'm just saying to people sort of almost the correct terminology all of the time, sometimes you don't get that interaction with the sort of people that you're actually looking to reach out to help, if that makes sense, okay? So yeah, please don't get it as I'm just contradicting myself here and going back on things that I've said previously. You will have heard me say, and you probably will in future, hear me mention about losing weight, about toning up, and again, that is to appeal to the people that I want to bring in and then further educate and help to get the results on a lifelong basis, okay? And to just increase their knowledge as they go and get better, get results, get educated, and just know exactly what it is they're doing and how things should work from there on out. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will speak to you soon. Cheers.